All right, we take you back to one of the stories we ran a bit earlier on the biometric verification system. We're now joined by Vuyo Toto, District Manager of SASSA in Nelson Mandela Bay, following that very successful launch. Good afternoon, Mr. Toto. Thank you very much for joining us on The Full View. Talk to us about this biometric system that you launched today.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Today we launched a pilot on the biometric verification system for the COVID-19 SRD special grant. You'll remember that back in 2020 we were instructed by the National Executive to roll out this type of a grant, which became a very huge success. However, as we were rolling it, we began to pick up some lessons. Part of those lessons was the challenges around the issue of verification. You remember that for anyone to log on the app to change the banking details, they needed a smartphone. Mm-hmm. And we realized that many of the clients did not have smartphones. And therefore they relied on the relatives, friends, in order to be assisted. What we picked up is that the relatives or friends will, for some reason, be far away from the clients, and they will no longer have access to that smartphone, and they will struggle then to actually do business with us. Secondly, we also picked up there was mischief that was taking place, where some would actually put their own banking details and their own contact numbers. Consequently, you'd have people complaining that they're not receiving their grant, whilst when you look at the system, the grant is being paid. And I think recently we have seen another trend where at the age of 18, the child support grant beneficiaries would go out of the system. But we noticed that there's a new wave where those 18-year-olds will be actually in the system without their knowledge. They haven't applied, but they are in the system. And it began to tell us that there are some workings and machinations at the back, perhaps related to fraud. So we then decided that perhaps we need to investigate a new biometric verification system that will be foolproof, ensuring that the beneficiary is doing the verification, is doing the uploading of new information themselves.
Yes.
So what we have done is to pilot the new biometric verification system in the Nelson Mandela district of the Eastern Cape. Today we were piloting in 3 local offices. It became a huge success because beneficiaries for the first time were able to actually conduct and transact on their own. What we have done to assist them is to make sure that our offices are connected to Wi-Fi, so there is internet connectivity. Because many of these people don't have access to the internet. So our offices are connected. Somebody with a smartphone can visit the SASSA office, access our Wi-Fi and work from there. But those who don't have smartphones, we have put laptops on the desk and we have mounted web cameras so that we can on the spot verify that biometric with other relevant information in the government system, for example, Home Affairs.
Pardon me for interjecting there.
Come
so
again?
How does the process work now? You would need the smartphone, and then from there, if you are to change your mobile number, it would then request perhaps your facial biometrics. Do you bring your ID? Just talk us through that particular process briefly.
Fine. The system works this way. You will log on the app. It would require that you verify yourself by means of taking a photograph. And once that photograph has been taken and loaded onto the system, it will link you, as I said, to other systems like Home Affairs to actually verify you behind, in the background, that you are the actual person linked to this ID number, you see. So it is your face, it is the ID number, it is the other records of government that exist to actually verify you positively that you are the person who's actually conducting this transaction.
Then, Mr.
Which
Toto,
closes the gaps that were there because...
Pardon me for interjecting there again, just in the interest of time. Then of those who have green ID books, Some of them have raised concerns that perhaps their picture that they took decades ago might not be as clear, so the identification process might be delayed. Are there any concerns around the green barcoded ID book?
Well, there are some few concerns, but we are working around them. You see, the fact that we've got web cameras, they're helping us to deal with that in one way or the other. But that is why also we're encouraging beneficiaries to have access of the smart cards, because I mean that's the way to go. You see, but we are being able to assist even those that have got the green barcoded IDs. Mm-hmm. But what we prefer is that everybody must have a smart card.
Mm-hmm. Now, certain NGOs, among them being the Pay the Grants, have criticized you as SASSA for failing to adequately explain some of these changes, because now that you state that it would be probably more beneficial for somebody to change to the smart ID as opposed to the green book. I mean, what would be your response to some of that criticism, that here there's going to be a lot of difficulty?
Our response is very clear. We're not saying we are not going to be able to help the people with green barcoded IDs. But however, we are encouraging them to actually apply for the smart card.
Mm-hmm. Because
if you remember, there was a cut-off date for people to have. Yes, exactly. You see, so we are encouraging them because your smart cards are the safest means of verification than the green book.
All right, Mr. Toto, thank you very much.
Working with Home Affairs to make sure that they up their game. Yes.
All right, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. That was Vuyo Toto, District Manager of Nelson Mandela Bay, SASSA.